If you're new to me and you don't know who I am, my name is Antoine Campbell, the REI giver. I'm looking to just call myself Antoine Campbell, the giver. You know, not just REI, because I think we do more than just REI. What's up, everybody? Yeah, that's a good look right there. Look at that. Welcome to the Smoke with me. Like I said, we're gonna be doing some Q&A. Do me a favor and share this. You know what I mean? Instagram Live. Got a good cigar out here. Yeah. So I've been here since December 14th. I go home on the 5th, to the 4th or the 5th, January. So we've been here for about 2-3 weeks. Just relaxing. How's everybody New Year's went so far? How has, what have you done so far this year in 2021? I know we're only 2 days into this, that you feel comfortable about. Not just being on Clubhouse all day or being on YouTube all day and call that working on your business, but what have you actually done for your business? You know what I mean? I know it's only 50 degrees outside, but here in Maryland, man, when you get good weather, 50 degrees or better, you gotta enjoy it. You know what I'm saying? Because it could easily be 32 degrees out here. So I picked up a lease option. That's good. I know Monday, I gotta help my team sell 13 real estate deals that we locked up in the last week or two of December. So we're gonna get that sold. We got a bunch of sellers that we gotta follow up with. Here's the thing about this real estate shit. It's about good, effective marketing and good quality follow up. I don't care what you spend on tools, what you spend for a consultant like me to help you. I don't care about none of that shit. If you don't have good marketing and good follow up, you're not gonna really make it too far. So listen, I want to give you some advice, right? All information ain't good information. Even if I'm talking to you, verify the things I'm telling you. Get you a good lawyer on your team. Get you a good consultant on your team. Get you a good advisor on your team. And even if you don't have no money, there's still ways you can ask for help from people. Don't just be listening to people just because someone says out their mouth. That don't validate it or that don't makes it true. So you know what I'm saying? So let's get that out the way. Make sure you know who you're taking your advice from. Make sure whoever you're taking your advice from, that they're actually aligned to what you're trying to accomplish. Example, when people come see me, there's multiple reasons why people want to come see me. Because they don't have the systems and processes and automations in place, and they would love to mimic what I got going on to make their life that much easier. So that's why people come see me. So when you go see somebody, make sure that it's exactly something that you need in your business and they can help you with, and that they're expert in it, or they really versed and knowledgeable about what they're trying to help you with. Do me a favor, tell me where y'all watching from. Where you watching from? We're about to get this shit going, just getting comfortable. Where you watching from? You know what I'm saying? Drop where you watching from or where you from at in the comments. We got a lot going on in January. Monday we starting our 7-day marketing challenge. Real estate marketing challenge, where we're going to be showing and teaching you how to do consistent and effective marketing free of charge. Free of charge, ladies and gentlemen. All you gotta do is show up every day, every night, 8 p.m. Miss C. Smith saying she's watching from North Carolina. Shout out for Mike Buy Houses at Full Price. New Orleans is in the house. Shout out to you, man. Atlanta, the Bay Area. I'm assuming California. Shout out to the Bay. Appreciate you guys out there on the West Coast, man. I can't wait to come out there and see you guys. So what are you guys currently struggling with? What do you want to talk about? You can ask me anything. When we do these Q&As, usually people drop questions. Usually I give, talk about what I'm going through, how I'm feeling. Bronx, New York in the house. Shout out to the Bronx. What do you guys want to talk about tonight? What's some things that you hope to accomplish, or what's some things you want to figure out going into, and we already in the new year, but going into executing the first quarter? Here's some things that I want to accomplish. I want to be able to focus more on developing my employees. I want to be able to really take time to work on me some more. and to really start waking up a little more early in the mornings. How I'm going to do that? I'm going to write out a game plan and start to follow that game plan. One of the things you guys can do is really journal some objectives that you want to accomplish, and then hit them step by step. You know what I mean? Hit them step by step. Do me a favor, invite some people to the live. I know it's Saturday. I know a lot of people busy, but you know, at the end of the day, it's important to participate in these type of Instagram lives, because you'll get your questions answered in real time. I'm at a point where I'm looking to build business credit with trade lines and other people's money. I'm ready to start doing transactional funding and raise money. You know what I mean? Building business credit, you know, it's not as hard as people make it seem. You have to get the basics covered first, right? You need to get a legitimate business. You need to have a legitimate business address. So sign up for something like Regis. They charge you $30 a month. You need to be listed in Google. You need to have your 800 number and a local number listed and the 411 directory. You need to have a legitimate website. You need to build some type of SEO, right? And then you need to start adding these simple trade lines on your stuff. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of different trade lines you can add. A lot of your office supply shops, a lot of these different online office subscription places will give you a free trade line, $2,000, $3,000, $5,000, and you just pay it off. And as you start to build your trade lines, then you go to the next tier, and then you start to get store cards, Home Depot, Lowe's. You start to build that, and then literally, they want to see a good, transaction history. And another thing most people want to talk about, you need to start to generate revenue. So if you're creating a business, whether it's a product business or online business, you need to separate your finances and making sure that you got a corporate bank account and that money's coming in and out consistently. Because the first thing when people ask when you're trying to get real money is, how much you bringing in? What is your liabilities? What is your assets? You get what I'm saying? And that's what most people get stuck. They think that they just going to get all these trade lines and that the bank's going to give them a lot of money. The banks want to see that you're profitable and you have all means. Ooh, look at that. That's a new Corvette. But anyway, the banks want to see that you're profitable and you have all means and enough creditworthiness to pay them back. Right? The banks just don't lend on based off trade lines. They lend based off income that the business is earning. So you need to create a business to start producing some type of revenue. Like I said, the easiest way to get into revenue is to create some type of online business. And there's so many different online startup businesses that you can create, but you need to make some type of revenue, and you need to show money coming in and out that account consistently if you want to get that second tip. My first taste of business financing was I had a tag and title company, and they gave me a $15,000 credit line against my credit card sales. Because I was generating so much credit card sales that it's a formula that they figure out that no matter what, they couldn't lose, because every time I make a credit card sale, I slowly pay that back. I don't know why most people don't teach that strategy, but that's the quickest way to start establishing credit. Is by to show people that you can pay them back. Example, my other business, like my digital product business, I don't make so much money through Stripe. If I needed to, I can go to a financing company or funding company, and they probably give me $100,000 with no problem, and they just take it off my credit card sales because I make 10 times more than that, the $100,000. So guys, you got to really start educating yourself. I'm going to really be like the real estate my thing, but I'm really going to be showing people what I'm capable of. Like, I'm not just Antoine the wholesaler. I'm not just Antoine the real estate investor, but I'm actually Antoine Campbell, the business consultant, the entrepreneur that been helping people for years and years to help people with their credit. I took my credit from a 440 and brought it all the way back to a 736. So, I can help people, but I just don't want to be that guy that's just dealing with low quality people, right? Oh man, I paid you $200 to clean my credit. It's not done. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that's really helping people, that's really ready to take their life to the next level. He said, I'm struggling to find consistent acquisition salespeople. Been through a few in 2020, position currently open. Well, if you're doing live American acquisition people, you would need to hire a recruitment company to really find somebody to match you with a person that fits into your vision, your business plan, and your company morals, and like that stuff really matters. People like, I can't seem to keep employees. Well, tell me your company values. Tell me your company, 5-year goals. Tell me your company vision statement, mission statement. And they don't have this stuff. So people don't gonna stick around because they don't believe that you are the answer to them for the next 3 to 5 years, that they can commit to you. So one of the things I advise a lot of the clients to do is to start to build a business first. Make it a happy, quality place that people want to come and work. And then people will start to buy into your vision when they feel comfortable and confident in you. One of the things as a company we'll be offering is regular recruitment services outside of the VAs. So if you're looking to hire a $30,000 a year acquisition manager, we definitely can match you with the acquisition manager. The beautiful thing about that recruitment service, we're still going to do the same model as the VA company. We'll be offering you a 6-month warranty. So in the event that employee quit, they're unproductive, we will replace that employee free of charge without charging you again. See, as you guys start to make money, you got to really invest in the culture of your business, because that's how people going to measure you. Like, this place seems toxic. This place doesn't seem like a happy place to work. The owner never seems to care about us. They don't check on us. They just make money and go on vacation. They don't give a fuck about us. You don't want to be in a position where your employees feel like you don't give a fuck about them. You're not genuinely in their interest. You get what I'm saying? How can I increase my VA caller skills? It's 2 ways you can do it. You could train them yourself, listen to their phone calls, coach them, work with them, 3 to 5 hours a day yourself. Or you can come hire a company like my company, and we'll step in and we'll put them through a program called Phone Mastery. It's $299 for a 5-day class per VA. And we'll put them through everything we know and get them trained up and recalibrate them. So that's the easiest way to do it, ladies and gentlemen. You should be trying to make your business simple as possible. You don't want to overcomplicate things you got going on in your business, because when it's time to hire people and bring people on to replace you in certain positions and roles, they're not going to seem to catch on or get it quick enough because you overcomplicated the process. And that's what typically happens. Or you don't have a process. So one of the things that, if everybody on here is an entrepreneur, you should be writing out processes from your business. Even if you feel like, man, I ain't made no money, so I'm not writing that shit out. Well, if you're doing it every day, you should write it out. And when you write it out, maybe you'll look and say, you know what, this don't make sense. This process I have here, because I can visually see it, don't make sense. Let me try to work on it some more. And that's the thing, when one tweak can literally turn your whole business around. One adjustment can literally turn everything around you that you're currently working on, because you identify a leak in your boat. And once you plug that hole, you're able to continue to sail down the stream. Another thing, guys, you gotta do is you gotta start getting good at separating your financing. And that's something I had to beat myself up on too. The company credit card is the company bank card, debit card. My personal debit card, I'm saying, I'm gonna pay for it, put it back, or I'm gonna pay for it and the business reimburse me. You want to make sure that all your stuff is separated, so that if something pop off in court, nobody can pierce the corporate veil that you got as an LLC. You know what I mean? One of the biggest positions that I'm pushing, that my HR team hire for the Antoine Campbell enterprise, is that we hire a finance coordinator. So for the last 6 years of me doing my business, I've been managing all my books myself, all my accounting, everything. But the one thing is that as I grow, now we currently got 37 employees and we're looking to take it to 45 by next month, is that I know for a fact I can't do everything by myself. It's going to be a lot of things missed. And at the end of the day, it's going to cost me tens of thousands of dollars by being so reckless by not having nobody come. So I get me a finance coordinator, and their job is to do my payroll, pay bonuses, because I don't know about you guys in your business, you should pay incentives and bonuses out consistently to your employees so that they can feel vested in the company. So when I decided to get back a certain percentage of the revenue back to employees that became effective this month, I literally made all my employees my partners. Why I do that? Because now I'm asking them for another level of commitment that they couldn't give me just by just being paid a flat salary with no profit payout. Now, since I'm giving them profit payout on paper, they don't own the business, but mentally, they feel really attached to the business. You know what I'm saying? And once a person feel attached to the business, they're gonna go hard. They're gonna go even harder than just punching the clock and doing just enough to get back. They're gonna show up and work an extra 2-3 hours. They're gonna call 10 extra people. They're gonna close more deals. They're gonna close more sales. So you guys got to figure out a way to incentivize your employees outside of their standard base pay. Once you start doing that, what's going to happen is you're going to attract more quality people to come work for you. You're going to retain more people, which means you're not going to have a higher turnover rate. People are going to love their jobs. They're going to show up for you, and they're going to go above and beyond. They're going to definitely go above and beyond for you. So at the end of the day, I just think that that's what most entrepreneurs lack. They lack that corporate structure. They lack that back of the house stuff that you miss. And yes, you're probably great at working every day, roll up your sleeves and getting dirty with your team. But if your team don't have a sufficient back of the house support, you're setting them up for failure. How big should your team be starting off if you're virtual? That's a personal question. When I first started really doing the virtual thing, it was like 3-4 of us. And then as I started to turn the corner, we went up to like 8 to 10 people. And then as we started to build and then, I started to, and focus on other businesses too, we literally in like a 4-month span, we went up to like 23, 24 people. And then like towards the end of the year, we just started hiring and beefing up the system. Once you start to feed the beast or the machine, what we call your business, that's when you got to keep on hiring and keep up the pace, because then you have dedicated people in certain departments, certain things, and nothing's really been slipped through the cracks. And what I mean by that is, in a day, if the company is open today, it doesn't require me to physically work. I'm just there overseeing things and meeting with people and talking to people and making sure things are going as well. So for me, my incentive is different. I pay back 10% of the gross profit to the employees, and it's divided in different it's divided by different departments and stuff. So 10% is life changing when I pay that money back. You know what I'm saying? It may be 20%. You may be more generous. It may be 25%. But for me, starting off 10% is definitely very conservative, because I could always add to it. I definitely don't want to take from it. And the reason why is, when you start paying your employees good and stuff, like you see all these MLMs out here folding and shutting down, and people putting they all into these businesses, and next thing you know, they like, we ain't paying you. You know what I'm saying? What do? And then you calling that shit a business. And it's not really a business. But see, for me, when my employees work for me, I can, stand on 10 toes, say, yeah, this is a business. We're doing this. We have good customers. We understand customer retention. But if you're working in something that only thing that the company is surviving on is sign-up subscriptions, and there's no true business model behind it, you're going to get crushed. And I'm just speaking in general. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's why wholesaling is so hard, because there's no true business model behind wholesaling. It's just hoping and praying you close a deal or you get a deal on a contract, and hopefully everything works out to the point you make it to the close table. Now, for some people, they crush it. They get lucky. They never get burned for real. Certain people, they lose everything. So, like I said, when you're starting your businesses, as an entrepreneur, you should always be looking for that second or third flow. Even if you don't start it just yet, you should have it in mind, because the one thing that saved me for the last 7 years and kept me afloat, and I'm able to continue to reinvent myself, is that I'm always 2-3 steps ahead of myself, to the point that most people call that doing too much. Some people call that your head in the clouds. Some people call that being all over the place. But I'm telling you, that's thinking about your future and planting seeds to the point that if one of your businesses is not doing well financially, you can write up a promissory note and say, hey, I'm going to dump $100,000 to my wholesaler business. I'm going to dump $100,000 into my VA business. I'm going to dump $100,000 into my nutrient business that I've been working on for 8 months and haven't been able to drop it yet. See, at the end of the day, as an entrepreneur, you got to be willing to put up the money. You got to be willing to put up the money, be patient, and then foresee that idea come through so you can recoup that money. You know what I mean? The entrepreneur is a long game. It's not like you put up the money, next week you make it back. You may put up $100,000 into your business, you know what I'm saying, or expanding your business, or creating a different division in your business, or a separate business that complement that business, and it may take you 2 years to recoup it. Does that make it a bad business investment? Maybe not. Because after year 2 or year 3, you generating so much money that, you know, your return on investment is infinity, or stupid, or crazy, or whatever. So I always tell entrepreneurs, as you come across a little bit of money, always look forward to putting that money back into something, so that way that you can continue to feed the machine, and the machine is your business. What do you think is the best time to scale? Best time to scale? I don't think that timing, because listen, if you try to time everything, you'll never get started. If you try to time the market, like the stock market, or time this Bitcoin shit right now, you probably will lose every time. I think that you should be responsible. You should look at what you're making, or what you're bringing in, or what you can afford to risk without losing it all, and then scale towards your tolerance. I think scale is a tolerance thing. I don't think it's a oh yeah, okay, you 3 months in, now if I get 4 more people. I think it's a thing that, okay, we made $50,000 and I'm going to put back $20,000 back into my business, which if $20,000 go back into my real estate business and I just work with VAs, that can be between, you know, 3 to 5 more employees that I'm willing to pay to see more results. So I think it's a tolerance thing. You got to ask yourself how much you're willing to put up, how much you're willing to risk, how much you're willing to spend without seeing an immediate return on that money you're spending or putting up, if that makes any sense to you. But, you know, speaking of scale, like people, you know, I get clients all the time. Like we just got a client, he paid for a lead factory, and basically he's like, listen, I'm all in. Let me get a 12-month contract. This how many VAs I need. This is what I'm trying to do. Okay, I'm going to put down half of whatever that 12-month contract is. Let's go. Then you got some customers that may have the money, and they're like, you know what, let me think about hiring an extra VA. And all they doing is bleeding themselves out. Because the person that said, you know what, let me put down half, and I give me 4 VAs and train, and I do this, and I got my whole shit set up through your company, they know for a fact that it only takes one deal to break even. So, okay, in 4 months, I should, with the production and the consistency and me leading the way, that's the key to it, I can recoup my investment. So you got to look at this shit and break this shit down. Okay, you know, if I put out this 10 grand, what's the risk? It's called a risk analysis. What's the risk of me getting it back or me not getting it back? And what are some things I can do to ensure I get it back? So if you're going to bet on the VA model, or you're going to bet on the wholesaler model, you got to understand what you're doing. You got to know how much production do I need from these VAs on my team in order to even have a shot to close a seller. See, people don't even have an idea what that means. You know what I'm saying? People think, okay, I'm going to go to Fiverr, I'm going to give the VA a list to call, and they're going to make it work. When all actuality is, you should run away from Fiverr. You should come to a company like mine or somebody else who do the similar things we do. And then you should pay us a quality money so we can get you the best of the best. You should only be working with the best of the best. And then even if they're not the best of the best, or they kind of be a dud, even people draft number 2 draft pick in 2018 was Dwayne Haskins, Washington quarterback, and he was a bust. He was a dud. If the scouters knew and the recruiters knew that, hey, this person may be trash 3 years later, their work ethics may not be there, they're going to go to script club, they're going to everything. They're going to do everything but what they're supposed to do. Do you think they would have drafted that person or put that person on the team? That's the same concept for the VA model. Sometimes they don't be as great as we thought. We train them and they still don't work out. But at the end of the day, that's when you have multiple provisions in place where you can say, you know what, okay, this person was done, let's move on. My business alone, we probably went through 17 employees. Like, we got rid of, hired, fired, wasted tens of thousands of dollars and wasted labor. But it didn't deter me from continuing to hire, because I know for a fact how much is my break even. I know for a fact how much I need to pay my people. I know for a fact how much each employee can bring me in for revenue. So that's some things you guys got to figure out. I'm seeing more homeowners wanting retail price, but would need accept owner finance. What advice? But would need. I'm not understanding. Rewrite your question. I'm seeing more homeowners wanting to retail price, but would need accept owner finance. Re-say that question, because it's a little confusing to me, and I would be more than happy to answer it. I'm thinking he or she is saying, they're saying more homeowners that want retail, but they're willing to but would not accept owner finance. Would not accept owner finance. Okay, so here's my take on that. I think that you have to really invest in sales training. You have to really invest in your ability to negotiate and understand the psychology of the seller, right? And you have to really dive deeper into your scripts to work with them. Because if you did that and understand that, most of the times, if you qualify that seller, then you knew for a fact they might not be serious, and you probably would have moved on. If you didn't probe or dig for more pain points and things like that, you're not all the way at the bottom of the script to the point that you're trying to solve their problems. And that's why I teach my acquisition stuff. I teach, don't just give offers, solve problems. Listen to their problems, listen to their needs, and figure out how can you solve it. And if the retail is it, and their house is in good condition, and their house is, don't need that much work, and them trying to take 60 cents on the dollar might not make sense. Maybe you need to have 3 or 4 good solid relatives that you can refer to, and then you have somebody, a paralegal or somebody, to draw up a referral agreement, and you get a $2,500 referral fee per deal that you refer them that successfully closes. You file the paperwork, and you get the the relative's information, and then you make sure you send a copy to their broker. So when they get their piece, the broker is just paying you your referral fee. You're not assigning, you're not doing anything. You say, hey, I run a marketing company, right? We don't portray ourselves as realtors, and we monetize our leads. The same way you'll pay Redfin or Zillow for leads, we're asking for a referral fee based on a quality lead that the realtor is going to make money with. They're not warm or cold. These people are ready to go and sign in a listing agreement. So that may be something you may add to your business in order to make and monetize them sellers that can't wrap their head around taking 40, 50, 60, 70 cents on the dollar when there's nothing much wrong with their house. One of the things that you guys got to understand is, sorry about that. One of the things you guys got to understand is there's 2 types of motivation that you need to be looking for and pulling. You need to be looking for physical motivation for the house, and then you need to be looking for motivation based on the seller. And I'm going to explain to you, what are physical motivations? Physical motivations is the house is trash. The house is on a teardown list. The tenants haven't paid rent, or their tenants and they're squatting. The seller motivation, going through bankruptcy, can't afford to pay the mortgage because the tenant haven't paid them, and now they can't pay the mortgage because they living rent check to rent check, right? They living cash flow to cash flow checks. They're not really having no wealth preserved, so they just check the check just like we are. And once you understand it, and I teach this really in detail in my acquisition class, then it'll be an aha button for you to pull a list where each of the 2 types of motivation I'm talking about, it should be shown at least in each list you pull, right? One motivation on this list and one motivation on that list, and then you pull that pain point, and now you're talking to a better quality seller, right? I see people pulling lists just for high equity people, but that don't make them motivated. That might say, just give me an offer. Yeah, I serve the right number. Anybody can call that a lead. But if you know for a fact that they got a house that they never lived in, they got 10 more houses, and 2-3 other houses in the portfolio is not performing, or people not paying collected rent, they're not collecting on the rents, then you know they're in a tough situation, because 80% of the people that own rental properties are they own between 2 to 5 houses, which means that they just a novice mom and pop setup. So you got to put yourself in position where you identify that, you understand it, and you're offering real-time solutions. You know what I mean? You might be working with a hedge funds. You might be working with a person with a lot of cash to say, hey, listen, we can cash you out right now. We can buy this from you if you own it free and clear. Well, why won't you just create a note for us and you become on the passive side? We'll pay you 3 months up front as a deposit of the mortgage, and then you let us come in and be the landlord and deal with the headaches of the toilets, the clogged toilets, the broken sewer lines and things like that, and you'll collect this. And if anytime you want out this deal, you'll put your note on a note exchange place, and you can sell your note in 2 weeks and get probably 85% on the dollar for it. You get what I'm saying? So you guys got to really have a better script. You got to really have an understanding of what you're trying to offer the sellers. Because I think most of you guys just, I'm going to offer them 70%. I'm going to offer them 65%. I don't know. I'm just doing what I learned from YouTube. Instead of trying to create a business to solve problems for your exact clients, that's why most people struggle with converting their leads at a rate that they should be converting them at. Do you think virtual is better than face-to-face? Honestly, virtual is preference, right? I do virtual. My whole business is virtual. All my businesses, like, if I can't do it virtually, I don't want to invest in it. Let me tell you something. A service-based business or a digital product-based business will outrun any other business any day on the map. Because you got inventory, you got office rent, you got overhead, you got workers' comp, you got unemployment insurance, you got so many different fees and costs and monthly costs that it swallow away your profits. So when you do virtual wholesaling, you just got your VAs to worry about. You got your monthly softwares to worry about. Everything else on the back end is upside. When you do face-to-face, you got to have a beautiful office. Or you probably got to rent something. Or you probably, if you don't have an office, if you're doing face-to-face, you're going to need an office. You know why? Because now people are like, well, I can stop past your office. Or where your office at? If you claiming you're a local investor. So it's definitely a good tool to have because it builds credibility. Hold on. You mean to tell me you can pay cash for my $140,000 house, but you can't pay $800 a month in rent? It's not making sense to the sellers. And now you wonder why the seller's ghosting you. Because your story that you pitch to them, who you are as a person in a company and what you can do for them, is not adding up. They're not buying it. So when we approach somebody as a virtual wholesaling company or a virtual acquisition company or a virtual home buying company, we're saying, listen, I'm not in your state. I'm at my desk in Washington, D.C., and this is what we do every day. And you're setting the expectations up the front. And they're like, okay. And so, we talk to dozens of homeowners like yourself. So why are you picking my area? Because we identified this is an area that we want to be in as investors, and we want to hold real estate, either to hold it, to fix and flip it, or to fix it up and sell it as a flip. What's the best software you use? Well, currently, that's a hard question to answer. And here's why it's a hard question. We have softwares for different processes. Sometimes we don't use softwares for different processes. So I think some of the best softwares we use as a wholesaling company is PropStream. If you don't have PropStream, you're doing yourself a disservice. Go to REIgiverdata.com. That's REIgiverdata.com. I want you to take yourself over to REIgiverdata.com. Sign up for a 7-day free trial. Test it out. You know, you get two things I like about it. You get 10,000 leads a month, right? That's 3 cents a lead if you divide it by $99. Then you get MLS access to just about every MLS in the country. So now you don't have to bug a relative to help you out. 1, 2. And then you're able to look at properties and kind of like do soft title searches. What I mean by soft title searches is you're able to see liens, judgments, all these type of stuff that's attached to the properties in real time. So you can use that and bring up to the sellers, hey, I'm looking at your property in the public records, and I'm saying that you owe you owe back taxes, you owe this and you owe that. And you can bring that up in your script. Now, we teach a certain way how to go about that. We don't just straight shoot from the hip and tell them everything we know because we don't want to come off as a weirdo. Good question, Ty. Ricardo. He said, what do you recommend accomplishing before scaling with VAs? One of the things I recommend accomplishing before scaling with VAs is to write out your business. Who you are as a company, what you do, what's the acquisition process look like, what's the disposition process look like, what's the transaction coordinator process look like, what's your SMS look like, or cold lead generation processes. Write that out. So when you start to get employees, you know exactly where to put them at. And if their system isn't built out all the way, at least you can hire employees that have experience in that, and they can work by you side by side to help you build that system out. There have been many times where I hire employees with a department in mind or a piece of my business in mind that's not even existing yet, and I tell them to their face that, hey, since you have experience in here, since you did this for 5-6 years, you're going to exclusively work with me to help set up the process and the procedures to build this certain process of my business out. And that worked out really well for me so far, because at the end of the day, Antoine Campbell don't know everything. You don't know everything. But if you bring somebody in that's been working this for 5-6 years, just allowing your employees to have input in your business will literally separate you from the competition. Now, scaling with VAs is once again, it's a tolerance thing. Because look at the VAs a part of your marketing, especially if you're just getting cold calling, SMS VAs. That's just like spending money on your call tools and spending money on your smarter contact. That's just a part of your marketing budget. So, if you need cold lead generators, then you just add that $400 a month salary that you'll pay for a part-time VA when you hire them through us to your marketing budget. And if you can afford that, then get your VA. There's no questions around it. If somebody's telling you wait, get the experience, that's because they haven't had the tenacity or the understanding how to structure and run a business. Right? A business is a fast-paced thing. You always got to be bringing in processes, people, and employees in order to get it consistently and not for it to be getting choppy on you. Do I ever get on the phone with sellers, or do you handle your VA? I'm at a point in my career, in my business, where I look at myself as an executive, right? Don't let the jacket, the nice jacket fool you, and the hoodies, and don't let all this stuff fool you. I am an executive in my business, and that's something that took me 7 years to master. And right towards the end of 2020, I started to embrace that. So a lot of the stuff in my business, I let my team do. And that's why I pay them well. That's why I bring them on. But when it comes to talking to the sellers, if there's need for me to get on the phone, I will do that. But we're structured as a company that has rules and procedures and policies. So little old me and building the rules. So when we're talking to the sellers, we're not allowed to do this. Our company don't do this. Our company don't do that. And there's rules, right? And that helps you. That helps the sellers from going to ask for favors that you're not comfortable doing, or going to ask for things that you don't want to do. Right now, sometimes we do what we call a third-party close. And in a third-party close, it's basically me stepping in and acting as the finance manager or the manager or the portfolio manager and explaining to them why we could do this deal for them at this way, or why we're trying to structure this way, and why they should move forward with me, because ultimately I'm making a decision. If you want me to make a decision now, let's go. If not, I understand. Talk to you later. And that's what I show you a little more about that when you sign up for the acquisition training. It's $1,000, ladies and gentlemen. 6 weeks class. Nothing on the market is like it compared to value proposition, compared to the content you get, all of that stuff. So if you're serious, and say for example, your cold calls been getting you good deals, but you know in your heart that you're not closing or turning these deals around as quickly as possible, then you should be investing in somebody's sales training or acquisition training. You can't do this business without sales training. No business survives without some type of sales. I don't care what they say. Said, thanks, man. Really motivated. Just hard to close stuff. Just hard to close stuff for me. Yeah, man. Get you some acquisition training. If you're interested in that, text my phone, 202-335-3322. Listen, every class we do sold out. We're on the 7th class of so far since doing it. 6 weeks, 7 class. You do the math. Why am I encouraging you to do this? Because at the end of the day, it's stupid to spend money on prop string, spend money on deal machine, spend money on easy skip, REI skip, spend money on batch, spend money on all these different SaaS companies, software as a service. And you yourself haven't mastered the skills to understand the seller psychology or to close the seller. So now all this money you're spending to generate leads is going down the drain because you can't close nobody, your VA can't close nobody, whoever you got on the phone is closing people. So, your next investment, if you feel like you're getting leads, should be acquisition training. It's a 6 weeks training. You will love it. Even if, like, say for example, you need this stuff ASAP, still take the 6 weeks training. When you get the 6 weeks training, you get the access to the vault, and you go back and watch the other 6 weeks trainings we did, so that way you can lock yourself in the house on a Saturday to really catch up. On some things that you feel like you need right now, and you can't wait the whole 6 weeks. Would you recommend trying to JV at the beginning, especially if I had buyers but not much direct to seller marketing? The word JV can really be a gray area because some people take that as there's some people that genuinely can JV and then say, you know what, contract acquisition is not my thing, but I'm a good networker. I can get out here and shake buyer's hand. I can get deals sold. That's cool. But then you got some people out here that's just lazy, and they what we call daisy chainers, and they just taking people deals, not consulting with them, sending it out to their list, and messing up people's deals and confusing everybody. And then they get an offer. They come to them, yeah, I'm a buyer, and then they'll never tell the wholesaler, the original wholesaler, that they're not truly the real buyer, and that buyer that you got, bailed on you, and now you left the original wholesaler hanging. So that's the stuff that I talk about, and if that, you got to really be careful with that because you can destroy your reputation quickly than you get it if you're not being honest and being transparent with the people you're trying to do business with. How can I crush it virtually? With brother, you ask me these questions every time I go on live. Just get started. Get started. Pick a market and start Monday. That's what I want. The next time I go live, I want to hear you telling me you pick the market. You pick the market. You start pulling your list. You start texting, and now you're on the phone making offers. Don't worry about what you got a month to spend. Just get started. And that's why so many people never really be successful in the ways they want for themselves because they have a hard time rationalizing and get started with themselves. They have a hard time rationalizing what they sell. Just get started. I want you to get started ASAP. If you out here, if you guys watching, you want to get started virtual wholesaling, it's no different than wholesaling locally. And in fact, it's easier because wholesaling locally, you got to go to each appointment. In between each appointment, it takes you 2 hours, right? 30 minutes to get there, 30 minutes to get back, an hour in between talking to the sellers, building rapport. But what if you can do this on your phone? It takes you 30 minutes per appointment, and now instead of two hours per one appointment, you can do 4 appointments in 2 hours.